Hi guys, how you doing? How you doing, my guys? There, we good with the sound there? A little bit lower. There. How you doing, my guys? Mauro from Design Syndrome here. Glad to have you back here. This is the Design Dojo, a space on my Discord channel where we just get at it on design fundamentals, design exercises, just a space to get better and to have a community, you know what I mean? Surrounding design and the activity, you know? So glad to have you here, my guys. How you been doing? Have you been all doing with the assignment? I know many of you haven't been uploading it really because I said like upload at the end of the week because this is much more an assignment you have to show up daily instead of like doing a set amount of pieces. So yeah, drawing 101. Oh, if you're new here, let me take these ones off because I just changed to some OEMs and I gotta tell you, it's much more comfortable than the headset, and also with the Wi-Fi ones that I had, like you always run into this issue, like you run out of battery or whatever it is, and they were like malfunctioning also. So yeah, here we are, guys. So if you're new, the Design Dojo, it's a Discord community. We structure, it's a yearly structure of assignments. We go from fundamentals to this year we're gonna be doing some movie posters and a fully fledged vinyl graphic system. So if you want to hop in, just join through the link down below. You're gonna have all the information once you hop into the Discord. Actually, let me show it just really quick for anyone that's new here, you know, and maybe wants to hop in. Give me 1 second because I'm gonna use the Wacom today, the Wacom tablet, and I needed to do something with how I have set up the thing here on my end. So that's why I'm a bit slow. Let me know if the music is a bit too loud. I'm gonna take it down just a notch. I think that's fair. So yeah, let me just go up into this screen, you know what I mean? So here's the Discord channel. Once you get in, you need to make sure you have all the channels like available. Right click here, show all channels. Make sure you read the information channels when you hop in, and then you're gonna have the Design Dojo here with all the assignments. Right now we are at assignment number 4, drawing 101. You have the brief here that you can download. There is a small thing that I wrote for this assignment specifically, so I highly encourage you to go look at the brief. Everything's there, and we're gonna talk a bit about it because I think drawing, it's one of those things, you know, as designers, it's kind of a taboo, you know what I mean? Either you draw or you don't draw. It's like from talking from some of you on the community, it's like a taboo, you know what I mean? Like you are afraid of drawing, and I get that, you know what I mean? But I don't know, for me, I've been drawing since I've been really little, you know, and at some point we're gonna go over some of my older references. I'm gonna show you where I'm coming from when I'm talking about drawing, and why do I draw, and how did I learn, and why did I learn, you know, and why do I think it's important as designers to be able to draw. And I don't mean at a super high level, you know what I mean, but there is an elegance in being able to somewhat bring down what we have in our heads to the real world with pencil and paper, you know, to just quickly be able to show someone, even if it's a little scribble, because being able to translate what we have in our heads with distance, perspectives, and overall depth as we see it, you know. And also, as you become more versed in design, I found that for myself at least, my imagination became a lot more vivid once I learned how to draw, you know, because you can imagine things with more body, and that have a lot more presence in your mind, you know. It's not this abstract thing. You get to see it, and you get to draw it. Then first you learn to copy what's in front of you, and after a lot of practice, you learn to copy what's on your mind, you know. So you're actually seeing it and you're bringing it down, you know. And we're gonna talk a little bit about that. But yeah, let me know how you feel, guys, about drawing. You been a little scared about the assignment, or how do you felt? Drawing, it's a super slow thing, but yeah, please, I highly encourage you to go read the piece that I did. It's also on my Instagram. And let me see if I can put it up here, because I'm really proud of it. I actually wrote it entirely. I used no AI in making it. Just I wrote it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to slowly get into some writing. You know what I mean? And let me put this here. The designers learn to draw, and this is the truth for me. You don't need to be a really good designer, a really good you don't need to draw well to be a good designer. I mean, it helps a lot, but it's what I'm saying here. It's not, as a way that I see it now, it's not necessarily in the skill of itself of drawing that's gonna be helpful. It's not in the drawings that you're gonna do that's gonna be helpful to drawing. It's besides the point. But it's the sight, the eyesight in someone who can draw. The way you imagine, the way you see things, and I think that's the matter for a lot of other disciplines. I'm sure that a cook is gonna have a particular perspective on design that somebody that doesn't cook will not. Of course, it's a bit hyperbole to use the cooking, but it's true. You know what I mean? Like, certain skills do a lot for you instead of just the product of the skill. I talk about that in this. Go, please read it. And yeah, I'm really proud of this text. I really, really love it. And actually did the thing I tried to create this idea around the Sharingan, the Naruto Sharingan, the Genjutsu, that Itachi, Sasuke, and all the Uchiha has, but to apply it like for real, and to actually reference it, and to make it as a real idea, in this concept, which I think it's cool. Right now, I'm reading a book on the philosophy of tattoos, and it's really interesting, like, the idea of building a mythology, and building a mythology that makes sense. So it was super cool for me to be able to grab this idea of the Sharingan and to apply it into this idea of the eyesight of the one who draws. So I think it's really cool. I'm really proud of it. I actually really like the text. So if you could go see it, and let me know what you think on the comments, because I'm really proud of it. So yeah, let me know. What were my guys saying? Unfortunately, my IMs just broke a few days ago, but I love to see people switching to IMs. Been using them since last 5 years. Let's go. I realized recently that as a kid I drew compulsively with packs and packs of printer paper. I didn't care if it was good. I fallen off a lot as I got older. I'm starting on Friday. Hopefully, let's go. I mean, you don't need to, guys. You don't need to just start. Do 20 minutes, do 10 minutes, a couple of lines, a couple of whatever. This assignment really, it's at the start to get you past the little lines we do with fear, the fuzzy lines. It used to be called that hairy line that has like all that tremble, and get you to a nice confident line. So that's the main key of this part of the practice. Next assignment, we're gonna delve into more anatomy and all that kind of good stuff, but you need to be able to be comfortable doing some lines, right, till you get to the point of feeling comfortable with anatomy and all that stuff. And that takes years, but I guess I want to, in these few weeks, we're gonna be doing drawing, and my hope is that you are comfortable, like, getting some gesture and doing some live drawing. I don't mean like full anatomy live, but just to capture some gesture and to know what to look for, and hopefully some of y'all will run with it and will keep practicing the drawing, because it's a really core skill to learn, just because of what it will make to you. You know what I mean? Your whole understanding and way of looking at things changes when you have studied things and you try to draw them. And I talk about that on the text. Please go read it. But it's about learning to draw, not because you want to draw cool things, but you want to use another medium to see what does reality has to offer. You know what I mean? It's not about the end thing, the product that you can make, the cool drawing. It's about learning something new. For sure, bro. Bro, gonna make us into comic book artists. I mean, that's kind of funny because actually, let's hop into the. I created this little board on Arena to sort of show you where I'm coming from with drawing. Oh, and just to like to give you some proof of that I can draw actually. Like, let me go back to this scene. Like, this is the text, right? But this is the poster that I did that has a lot of the assignment drills that we're going to do and that you need to do. They are all here, all the drills, and I drew this poster like in its entirety. Like, I drew it all with the Wacom, of course, but I've tried to not go back as much and not to erase as much and not to flip the canvas as much, because on Photoshop you can turn the canvas as you can turn the page, but it's cheating a little bit on this exercise. You're supposed to leave the page squared and try to find where you move better, right? So yeah, I guess from what you can see here, uh, I studied a lot of anatomy. I wanted to be first a comic book artist and then a concept artist, like for movies and video games. But I literally desisted because it wasn't worth it. Like, you literally need to sacrifice everything to get to that level. Like, it's not joke. It's not a not. I'm not even kidding. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not that. I realized that I'm not about that life, bro. I didn't want it enough, and I'm totally fine with it. Like, I'm completely happy of the decision that I took of not pursuing that more completely, because yeah, I get to enjoy, and that was actually a really cool realization that I get to enjoy drawing as I did when I was a kid, when I started. And from now, I sometimes I get on with drawing, and it's completely stress free. I'm not thinking I'm gonna make an asset pack out of it or whatever. It's just I can play and I don't have that pressure. You know what I mean? Then I'm gonna show you later the Arcana website, which is like a fun little personal project that I have, but I have no plans with it whatsoever. I'm literally doing it to make memes and to fuck around. You know what I mean? So I guess that's the best decision that I could have made, and in as a business decision, I guess it was better also. You know what I mean? But but yeah, it's rough for illustrators and artists of that regard. So okay, was it hard to make that decision? Not really. It wasn't hard because I literally could see it for what it was. Because my guy, I was like coming from uni. I'll tell you while I show you this because I think it's important and it's cool. Oh, guys, before we show you that, before I show you that, I have something to show you to you guys. Um, this is really cool. So okay, I need to move my camera a little bit, but some of you that have been following this for a little bit are gonna take. Okay, let me move this because I need to move my camera. I got some things in the mail that are really cool. Check this. I got the final samples of the collection we did with 100 of the pads and everything. I need to move this cable over here. Here it is. This is the work of over a year, but this is only one of the collection. This is only one of the collection. The collection is gonna be 3 desk pads and some keycap sets that I'm also going to show you now. So that's one, and it comes with this print. So it's gonna come with something like this. The print is really high quality. So the print quality on this, it's crazy, guys. Like, look at that. It's no joke. Actually, let me. So, so that is one that we have, and the other thing that I want to show you is this, guys. Actually, let me put it over here so you can see better with the lights and everything. The keycap set, the 1 of 0, and it's crazy to see here the Design Syndrome logo and the 1 of 0. Let's go. This is the katana set. I'm gonna show you some here. It's really crazy, bro. Like, look at this. I want to. Can you see it? It's not. There it is. Yeah, and the print quality came up amazing. Actually, this isn't working. I'm gonna lay them flat here, and I'm gonna show you. And also, like, you'll be able to see all the little details, because it was a lot of back and forth to get the little graphics right and everything. And I was a bit worried that because of the size, like how the printing was gonna look, but they look amazing. Like, look at this. These are the different books: Book of Fire, Book of Water, Book of Earth, and Book of Air, and Book of Emptiness from the Book of Five Rings from Miyamoto Musashi. It has a lot of references to that. So they claim your space. There are the little graphics. And the keys have the graphics for the shortcuts, the Photoshop shortcuts. So yeah, at some other time I'm gonna do, because this is one of the sets, and I'm gonna do a proper video. So yeah, wanted to just quickly show you that, but later I'm gonna do like a proper blog or something showing you the entire collection. And I'm going to try to sneak peek it like from time to time, till, because they are not coming out just yet, but when they do, I'm gonna let you all know. But yeah, they look so good. I'm super proud of how they came out. Let me put this away. But yeah, I'm sure they're gonna ship. I'm sure they're gonna ship everywhere, my guy. But yeah, they ship from Canada. It's gonna be. I'm super proud of it. So yeah, let me put this away. Yeah, the quality, it's super good. I've been using one of their pads and their keycap sets, 1 of 0, and the quality is top notch. Like, I wouldn't have agreed to do this if their quality wasn't as good, because I don't know, I have this perspective also. I wouldn't want to create more plastic to go whatever, you know what I mean? If I wanted to do this, I really wanted it to be some product that was gonna be like, I designed the product that for me would be like the definitive, you know, like I wouldn't get any other despot if it wasn't for that one. And this is the one, but the other two are crazy, crazy. And the other keycap set is also amazing. So I'm really proud of it. No, 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 they're not gonna be that expensive, bro. Like, no, 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 don't worry about it. So, so yeah, I wanted to do that. And also now I'm going to show you what I meant about the drawing and all of that. Let me change this. Send me feedback. Oh my god. There. So go back to this one. So I created this little arena board to kind of order chronologically where I've been in terms um, of why did I learn to draw, you know what I mean? What were the motivations and my references from starting? So I wanted to start here that I get, I guess for most of us, like exposure to the drawings we used to saw as a kid. You know, Dragon Ball was the first one for me as a kid. You know, Goku, Super Saiyan 4, like, or completely out of armor. You know what I mean? And yeah, I remember drawing this on class on primary school or secondary school. You know, and from there I remember Shaman King. Do you guys remember Shaman King? Shaman King was a great anime from that era. Also, remember, but yeah, this was around the time that I was coming out from secondary school. Actually, Shaman King was a bit earlier, and but I remember like everybody going out to recess, and I was always staying back there, like drawing anime and stuff like that. And at that point, I knew that I wanted to study graphic design because it was like a more serious serious career than like drawing or art, like for art. And and yeah, Shaman King was amazing. Then when I started to study graphic design, at the same time I started to study like fine art and drawing, like comic book drawing. I went to this school that had a lot of teachers that drew for Marvel and actually comic book artists, and they were amazing. And these are some of the references I used to have back in the day. This is from Show Madureira, he's called. And some people talk about his style like being American anime because he has a lot of this like anime structure in how in the way he works. You know, the silhouettes and the faces and the stroke has a lot of power, like in anime. You know what I mean? It has a lot of that style, but my guy, it's American. You know what I mean? But it carries a lot of that anime power and silhouettes and the poses and the musculature and all of that. You see what I mean? But as we're gonna be seeing, like it was crazy for me also to see the references back in time and to see them chronologically because you can see the style getting more graphic and more oriented to design. Right? I used to have this comic. I don't know where it is, but it's amazing. Like Joe Madureira, it's a goat. And then when I started to go to this school to learn to draw, we started to look at the masters, at the real comic book masters. You know what I mean? This is ah, I just looked for him. I got blank from the stream. I can't remember his name. It needs to be here. Bob Ross. No, Bob Ross. No. Let me check. No, no, no. Alan Ross. Alan Ross. I couldn't remember. I just looked for him. Alan Ross, this dude, it was on another level. Like, look at that spreads. It was so tactile and it looked real, you know. These are the masters, you know, but these are really old. Then Frank Frazetta again. These were the dudes that really linked from that era of comic, but they have a lot of similarities with actual painting. You know, these dudes I think painted with oleo. I don't know how you call it in English, like actual paint. You know, and in watching this, I remembered a lot of the feedback that the teacher used to say that applies a lot to design as well. You're gonna see Frank Frazetta does a lot of poses. For example, this dude these dudes are a lot of like really stoic in their poses, you know. They are not really doing that much. I mean, in some of these they are, but Frazetta, it's a lot about really violent action, you know. And I remember the day that my teacher gave me this piece of advice. Like, when you're gonna draw something, you need to draw the beginning of the movement or the end of the movement. Like you do the dude here, or you do when he already swung his sword or whatever it is, and you can see it in Frazetta, because it's really hard to draw the in between. To draw the in between, when you draw the sword coming down, it's really hard. I mean, you need to be really, really good if you're gonna do it, because you need to draw the muscles tensing, and it needs to be perfectly read. Like, if you see it on a photo, you can understand, but with a drawing, it's really hard to capture that in between. And it's the same in design. Like, when you take decisions, it's like when we talk about in composition, you make the decision: is this shape going to be here or here? You can put it in between. It needs to be really subtle so you can achieve that middle ground. But usually in design, it's one or the other. You know what I mean? You're going to make things big, and the other piece in the composition, you make it small. So you make that contrast really big and you make that decision. Or if you let it in between to making it work, you need to be really good in handling that tension and that contrast in some other way, so the piece remains interesting, you know. So it's kind of the same for this, you see. For example, this is a piece that has a lot of in between, you know. Like, this is a composition that everyone, it's in the middle of a composition, and you can see how it's really hard to understand what is happening, you know, like where are the axes swinging from or to. And the same with the sword, and here it's really different, you know what I mean. Again, all the middle, really amazing compositions in terms of the silhouettes, the backgrounds. And in Frazetta, I also used to draw a lot of women, like really hefty, powerful looking women with a lot of curves, a lot of really voluptuous, you know. I can't show you here, but that also influenced me a lot drawing, because I used to draw a lot of women. I still do, but I draw that kind of women, you know, muscular, hefty, you know, with oomph. Gouache. Yeah, I think that's yeah. This poster is really funny. Like, this piece is really funny. I don't know if if anyone can spot why. I'm gonna leave it here like for a couple of seconds, but let me know if anyone can spot why this poster is so funny. It's really it's really obvious, but Frazetta was like that. But look it up, Frank Frazetta. Uh, Look it up, and look at the women that this guy drew, you know. A lot Pamela Anderson, you know, that kind of vibe, but a bit more natural, but still like powerful. They were powerful looking women. They weren't like just beautiful. They looked powerful, you know. And what's funny about this painting is, nobody's gonna say it, that the arms needs to go past the horns. You know, the horns are in the way. The horns are in the way of her arms, of him arms. You know what I mean? But it looks fucking cool, you know. Again, Frazetta. Odin. You see what I mean? Everything like completely in the extremes of the motion. And then after being in this era, I had in my mother's home. I have books like spiraled ring books. I have a pile like this. I remember I came home from uni and I spent like 2 hours just doing drills, doing anatomy drills. The grit that I had in that era, like it was unmatched, bro. I couldn't believe I don't know how I did it. I'm glad I did, but I couldn't repeat that level of. It was insane, and I learned a lot, but it takes that amount of to learn to draw, and then as I was coming off of that high of wanting to learn to draw that much, um, and I got into design school, and I was already okay. Like, I'm gonna be a graphic designer. I'm gonna still draw, but I'm gonna be a graphic designer, and that's okay. I remember I was watching this YouTube channel of this artist that has a school on Singapore that he teaches concept artists, and he was saying something like, yeah, it's really impossible to be a concept artist. You need to be Michelangelo level of artist to just get in the door. And after that, the salary isn't that great. You know what I mean? So you are sacrificing a lot for something that you don't know how it's gonna go. And right now the concept artist industry is kind of fucked, because of the gaming industry and whatever. But something within me clicked and say it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So I kept drawing just for having fun, and I'm glad with that decision. I think I made the right decision. So then I discovered other kind of artists. I'm gonna show you the ones that are pertinent to illustration, that kind of shit. But this is Mike Mignola. He's more renowned for drawing Hellboy, and you can see this style is much more graphic. Composition, it's a lot more tight. It's tighter. The how he blocks the scenes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta, if you make the conscious decisions, and it's just what you have to do, you have to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm totally fine with that. We're going back to Mike Mignola. Sorry, you see here also a nice sequence, nice little sequence, how he's killing a vampire. I think this is for the Punisher or something like that. But you see how he compounds it, really, his compositions are really graphic and the silhouettes are really tight. Very, very different to Alan Ross. You see, it's much more design and morphology than the others. He's really, really out there. And if you see some of my compositions in my work, they go a lot to this. It's very similar to this, like the way I maybe block a silhouette on the background. I use a lot of silhouettes in my work, like of humans, of people, because I don't know, there is something even in how I'm blocked myself in how I'm blocked myself here on the stream, on this screen, how you see with the background and my silhouette is very similar to this, because I like that. I when I saw that, I was like, oh, I like that a clear background with my silhouette cut. I used to have like a frame there, a painting, and I took it out because I like my silhouette better. You know how he synthesizes faces. With a couple lines, he gives you like a pretty expressive face. And he also did The Witcher. It's kind of bittersweet. It's kind of bittersweet because it's amazing to realize that there are a lot of talented artists out there, and at the same time, it's tough competition. I don't take it as bittersweet, not even that, bro, because I know what it would took of me to be able to do that, and I purposely said no, I won't go through that to have a medium wage salary. You know what I mean? Like, no way. No way. It was taking everything. Like every waking hour of my day, I was drawing, just to get a little bit better each day, a little bit better. I didn't like it enough. That is also cool to say. Like, I'm perfectly good drawing like really nice sketches, because that's what I do. I draw real nice sketches. To have a fully finished piece, it takes a lot of work that I wasn't feeling it. You know what I mean? It wasn't in me. It's the truth. It's nothing wrong with it. I'm glad that I realized it, that I didn't brute force it. Design comes for me a lot more naturally, I feel like. And then we move to, I go back to anime, now an adult, and I discover the second phase that makes me appreciate the art of this series. And but I look at it, I watched Evangelion as an adult. Actually, I think I had like 20 years, or 20, 22, 23, 25 years. And Evangelion actually was really crazy, because when I watched it, I was already well into my design studies. And Evangelion, man, Evangelion, like, this is in a lot of my work. Like, you can see, I mean, a lot of my work. It's in a lot of society's work. Evangelion, it's a series that had massive cultural impact. This is the graphics that appear on the screen when they are monitoring the Evas, the robots. Like, what do you mean, bro? Like, this is nuts, right? At the same time, my G, Naruto, I was watching them back to back, I remember. And at the same time, I was still drawing. And Evangelion, its peak next to Akira. I haven't seen Akira yet, bro. Like, shoot me. I know. But I need to watch Akira. I hadn't watched that. But yeah, I know its cultural relevance. It's unmatched with Evangelion. But at that time, also was watching a lot of anime, and I still drew a lot of inspiration from it, from the subjects and the mythology that these characters have. But yeah, and here where it's mixes, it gets a lot of mix, because my appreciation for these shows came for the art, for the art and the mythology that they were showing. And I remember here is when the idea of design syndrome starts to take shape. But you can see how the illustration and the drawing was all a part of it. Maybe if I wasn't even drawing for my design work at that stage that much. I wasn't drawing, but you can see how the road from learning how to draw, from the references, nurtured a lot of what I do for design. I remember watching the first sagas of the first seasons of Naruto were a lot darker. The Sabusa arc. It's amazing. The series doesn't go back to this. It goes into a more fantasy, whatever. But Sabusa was crazy. It's super emo. I love that. And but all these really heartfelt characters, I really felt drawn to. But because I had this mix of really loving the art style and loving anime and loving that aesthetic that the show had. We have the goat, the goat, the goat. So yeah, a lot of inspiration comes from these shows, but that's what I'm trying to show you. Like, it all came from the artistic, and what that got mixed into the story of these shows, that then in a way that was sort of indirect, was nurturing also my design work. The anbus, you know what I mean? This is we are those doing graphic design, and these are mine. This is the work that I do now, drawing. These are my drawings from the other page, like you have it here from Argana. This is my other page in which I upload these little drawings. So you can see those references. You can see what I just showed you, all mashed together here. The way Frazetta hides his feet, like, he doesn't draw his feet, he's always putting them back. This thing with the halos from Evangelion, this sort of subtle nod to Christianity and to Christian lore. A lot of anime, a lot of I think I have pretty silhouettes pretty similar to this dude, to Joe Madureira, that I'm pretty like proud about, you know what I mean? But I can do pretty solid this. It's really hard for me to do like a complete finished piece. You know, I'm not that good at that. I'm good making this, and I have fun making this, so I do this. You know, like when I want to actually draw. But my understanding of the human body and the skills that I got from drawing, they are in my work. You know, they're all in my work, in the way I have a sense for composition and the relative distance between the objects. You know, all of that soft skill, it's there, and it's there because I learned how to draw. You know, and that's why I think it's important, or at least it was for me. You know, and then we go back to the thing. Yeah, this one was the last that I did. Are you winning, son? And bro, with all the books, looking outside. Such a nice day. So yeah. Oh, this was one. You see, this is pretty like frasera. You know, this is a pretty frasera, a Frank Frasera composition, and also like the women is pretty hefty. You know, the dude pretty buff, the swords, everything. And let me see if I have the thing. So yeah, let me know, guys, if you have any questions or whatever that you would like to talk about. So yeah, so that was kind of my story when it comes to drawing, you know, and why did I start drawing, and how do I feel it informs a lot of the decisions that we're gonna take doing design that are not necessarily about drawing themselves, you know. The ability to have patience, to watch, to make a to restrain yourself, you know, because in design it's easier to start doing things and to start putting things together and subtracting and doing all of this and all of that. And when you're drawing, you need to be a little bit more slow and methodic, you know, and start with your sketch and you start building it up, right? Um, but yeah, I think that is good in this context that we are now, that we live in, which everything is really fast, really chaotic, you know. So that's what I meant on the text that I wrote, that going back to the slow arts, you know what I mean, also because of the work they do on us in terms of giving us this slower pace of thinking and of analyzing, and to actually using our sight to see what we are doing and to relate to that work in another manner that's not just the I want to see it finished. I want to see it finished. You know, it's like a cancer, bro. So I mean that I don't want to go full anti. I don't want to be that guy that's completely against the. You know, I'm so different. You know, but because there is a time for we need to make products, we need to make things. It's work. You know what I mean? It's perfectly normal. But everything has become about that. You know, so that's why that's where a lot of the current disgust or that feeling of something being wrong, you know, that you feel it in your chest, like in your sternum, you feel like something is wrong, bro. And I think many of that come from that we lost that, we lost the ability to just sit still and try to do something slow for the sake of it being slow, and letting us just turn the revolutions down and just sit down and do it, you know. I was really happy that someone in the Discord said like it was like a meditation to do the drawing exercises. I found that to be super cool. And and yeah, actually, let's just take a quick look at the drawing assignments. Just take a quick look at the brief. Let me put this here. My voice is already killing me, guys. Let me put this here and let me boom. This is the Wacom. No, we want to see the main monitor. Okay. There. So drawing 101. You don't need to draw well to be a good designer. It's not the drawing itself that helps, but the sight on someone who draws. Okay, this is the text. Like, go read it on the thing that I sent you. Right. So these are some of the drills that I sent you out to do. Right, just horizontal, vertical lines in different orientations, These are some other patterns that you can try, right? And the point of these patterns is for you to get just a simple, confident, clean, straight line, you know, from point A to point B, and you to be able to handle the rhythm, the direction, and just to not be trembly, you know, all tremble. You know, we have a lot of have more safety and accuracy in your stroke. You know, the ellipse also and circles are really hard to master, right? Some of these for me are easier to do on paper than on the Wacom. I'm gonna show you now. So yeah, these are more patterns to do. Then we're gonna do some planes, right? The more skew it is, so the less it's pointing towards you. We're gonna see a little bit of perspective. I attached some videos also on the Discord channel for this assignment. That's gonna take you to some artist YouTube video that they go more in depth in the assignments, in the exercises themselves, you know, so in the drills. Because this is really introductory. Here I'm just showing you some shapes that you can play with. If you master this, if you're able to draw this cube sequence here, you already mastered it. You know, if you can do that, that's pretty advanced. If you can do that, right? Then we'll be able to subtract and do some more interesting stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, some things regarding the direction: start slow, then build confidence as you build up speed in your stroke. Also, there is something with the grip, like make sure you are not overly gripping your tool because it's gonna tighten you a lot. It's a nice, you need to be able to just grip it really lightly so it doesn't fall over, but don't apply that much strength. Another tip is to like don't draw just with your wrist. Like when drawing, try to from the wrist, from the elbow, and also from your shoulder. Like try to make a clean long line with your shoulder. Okay, yeah, just go read those ones. Oh, daily practice. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 pages per day, and try to make the most that you can. And even when the assignment drops, and this, I mean, it's always gonna be on, you know. But when you finish it, for the next assignment, just keep doing it. How to support if you want to support the dojo, and yeah, let's just close this and let's just hop into Photoshop and let's just see what's happening. So we're here in Photoshop. Actually, let me now change my setup a little bit because I need to grab my Wacom and put it somewhere close. But yeah, while I do that, let me know if you have any other questions. And I guess I just gotta shut my fear and get to the assignment. Yeah, bro. Like I'm gonna show you right now. It's not that hard. Like you need to just sit down and do it. I struggle a bit with line work and perspective. I think I rely too much on shading. I have to do these exercises in pen because my lines become very hairy when I have pencil at hand. Yeah, that's normal. I remember practicing. I practiced with a pen. I remember I used to use a pen because the pen, it's like you need to make the mark. You know, like you can't overthink it as much. So let me put that here. Let me bring my Wacom out. Oh shit. So yeah, let me put my glove in. Need to move this here. I have never drawn in like 15 years. That's a lot, bro. You need to draw. Also drawing, it's super fun, my guys. Like, let me put this here. Do you want my camera on myself or you want it on the... Damn, bro. Oh, because it's me. No, actually, let's do like that. There. I think that works, right? Funny enough, from age 5 to 15, I used to draw heavily. Yeah, yeah, you need to go back to it, bro. Like you just gotta own it and go fucking draw, you know. So okay, let me put this here. Down. And now, but I need to show you my Wacom tablet, not my main monitor. And now I have a preset here for the Wacom. There. And let me put this here. So you seen that, right? I guess I need to move this to the other screen so I know what you're seeing. That's great. Let me have a mate. But yeah, drawing it's super fun, my guys. Like you can, once you get the hang of it, like you can make whatever you want. And for example, that with Fracera, or sorry, with the other dude like Mike Mignola, I'm gonna show you now later after we do this some references of of people that I know, artists that I know that are illustrators. Like they just draw, you know, and they don't draw like super realistically. They just draw, you know, they just solidly draw and have a personal language that they use. Both I know. One is a friend of mine that studied with me, and the other is the girlfriend of a friend of mine that actually was one of my teachers at uni. It's crazy. But yeah, I actually had to show you that before, but I guess I'm gonna show you after this, you know. So let's go. So yeah, like it's not it's getting overwhelming because you're trying to draw well. That's the that's what's fucking you over. It's getting overwhelming because you're trying to do too much. You have a, how you say, like you have expectancy of how you want it to look. So that's why it look off, you know. So at the beginning, guys, like you can just make a straight line. This I'm making it by pressing shift. Like that's not my straight line. Like my straight line would be like that. You see, it's not perfect. I need to warm up also, but you see, if I make it slow, it's really hard. But because also the surface of the Wacom it's a bit slippery, so if you go a bit faster, it's a bit easier. And I'm doing it with my shoulder. You see, I'm moving my shoulder. Can you see that there? Right, I'm not doing it with my wrist. Like with my wrist, it would be impossible because I don't have the range. Like if I use my elbow, I can't, but I need to move my shoulder. See, like there. But still, for this regard, it's like using a ruler. So maybe I do a couple of these and a vertical line, and maybe you do it something that's more manageable. Here with the Wacom, it's kind of cheating because I can change the size with a pen, with pencil and paper. You can't. So you can start by making some vertical lines. I have the reflex of pressing Control C, but you can't do that. You just go slow, make a solid vertical line. You know, and once you start to get comfortable, like pick up the speed, try to put them at the same distance, one from the other. You see what happens if I make it smaller? And just get into that rhythm. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, I think I have enabled. Oh no, I don't have the smoothing. I have opacity there, sorry. Right? And then maybe we do one vertical like this. Oh no, wait, let's do. Okay, now let's do another one, but I'm gonna turn the page like so because I'm gonna do it horizontal. Do it slow. And try doing with the wrist, with the elbow, with the shoulder. For me, the shoulder it's the better way to draw, because you tire less. I mean, sorry, it's not that you tire less, but it hurts less. You don't get that much pain on the wrist. Right? And you can do stuff like that. Then you can do some cross hatching, like do them like this. Here we are not drawing. Like, that's one of the things, you get a lot of fear because you think you are drawing, like you're not drawing, you're just making a line, a line, a line, a line. I mean, don't do lines, like draw lines. You know what I mean? We are not doing nothing here, we're just drawing. Doing lines. Shit. Doing, you see, for me it's better to do from top to bottom, from left to right. The other way around, I mean, kind of useless. See, dun, 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 dun. Right? And you can, another thing that you can try, it's making, because with guides it's one thing, but you can try doing them without the guide, like maybe something like, what happens if you make them each time a bit longer? See what I mean? But you see how here it went like, woo. Right? But okay, maybe we grab this and we make something else. Maybe we do something like that. Right? And we start. That. Like this. Like with your assignment, try to see if you can make a composition. Like, see if you can make something out of the arrangement, right? So maybe then we do like that, and then we start, I don't know, we start doing ellipses. And we start like that. Start each time to make it a bit wider. For the ellipses, like one little tip that I have, that it's just a feeling, because when you do an ellipse, you're gonna see, for example, it's like that, right? And you're gonna be tempted to do this, and that's not an ellipse. You have something that goes. So when you arrive at this point, you're gonna feel that your pen it's going in this direction, right? It's going here, right? And what it needs to happen is that at the point that you are here, your pen needs to be going in this direction. So you do click. You know what I mean? So the point you reach there, you need to make sure that you're moving sideways. Right, and you make the curve there. It's something really small, but makes a lot of difference in the ellipse. And the point is to get the muscle memory to get to that point when you're not thinking about it, right? You just make a perfect circle, But again, this is, and now we see if we can make it a little bit, right? And now it's tricky because what do I do now? Maybe they're starting to, I don't know. What can we do now? Let's make it, because now you need to measure distance. You know what I mean? This is hard because probably you're gonna do a circle and it's gonna be like this, and it's gonna overlap. So how do you measure that? You need to measure where the circle is gonna land before you do it. But for that, you need to do a lot of repetition so you can measure that better. So for me, I think it's here. You see, and maybe you do, and maybe you make it fit. See, it doesn't matter. Like I could keep going, but it doesn't matter. Maybe here I make ellipse. Like don't be afraid. Take it as an opportunity. Actually, that looks kind of hard. So take it as an opportunity to play, make some cool shapes. You know, this is the same. Like let's do some perpendicular ellipses, but just catch a rhythm. You know, so kind of like that, and then you can start playing with your own composition. So maybe mm, a bit wonky, but it's okay. Doesn't matter. What matters is that you get to drawing. Because now you're actually also practicing your morphology skills in composition, right? It's all a two-in-one exercise. Like this that we have here, like this is kind of hard. You know what I mean? Like this is kind of hard. You need to shit. Now that I reached that point, let's do. This is hard. Let's do shit. You see? Boom. And then we close this. Right? And then we start like fucking. Shit. Like if you fuck it up, just go over it. Like don't sweat it. Because the key skill here is that you're able to measure like before you start. Right? Just like that. We're having fun. This is fun. This is hypnotic, you know? Great job. Are you currently using AI? Like in what sense? No, not really. Each time less. Sometimes I use it to to write the assignments, but in the sense that for the structure, because I already have a chat to give it structure. So I just put the entire text of what I'm saying, and it gives me like deliverables. It puts it in like the structure, so I can just copy paste it in the thing. But for example, when I write something that it's supposed to be written, like I wrote it because I want to write better, and I don't want to worry about the formatting. I just put it in Claude and send me put this in the structure that I use for all the dojo assignments and whatnot. And actually, Claude has been really helpful. For example, on this assignment, I had all the tips, and I had all the tips, and I was thinking I'm missing something, and I said to Claude like, add any tip that you think would be good for this assignment, and Claude gave me the tip of not gripping your pen too hard, and I was like, he's right, and I remember like that's a tip that I will give you. I just had forgotten it, and it made me remember. So I think for that kind of stuff, it's all right. I wouldn't use it never to like give me the idea for an assignment. But yeah, the AI thing, it's kind of. I mean, it's a bummer to see the direction in which things are flowing. I think AI on itself, it's a great tool, but I don't know, bro. Like the output, it's. I mean, there are very little people using it for things that make sense. Like the majority of stuff, it's just to create slop, and that's the issue. Like the stocks of these companies, are going up because if you go to Amazon and see like the measure books and all of that kind of stuff, it's all AI created, it's all AI generated. And in generation of graphic resources, I sometimes use it to do stuff for clients, like in the sense of maybe I need to look for an image how you use Google to look for an image for a piece or something. Sometimes I use AI if I want to create a very specific image that I can picture, and I know exactly what I want. I may prompt it and create it, or to make a mock-up for a client that's something that they need. For that has been really useful also to grab a garment that's something a client has, that specific t-shirt, and I give him like, give me this t-shirt without the print, and it gives me a pretty nice image, and then I make the mockup. Lately I've been using a lot for images like Dead to Stock. I'm working on a collab with them. It's gonna be great. I actually reached out to them because I use Dead to Stock, which is a stock image service that they have amazing curation for the images, and I've been loving their service. So I reached out to them, and they do like this and trend analysis. So we are doing something about slop, which is gonna be really cool. I really like what they do. And in the past, when AI generation started, I had some asset packs that I used AI to create some of them, not the entire of the thing, but just some images that I then like chopped and make the asset myself. But it was used like Necronomicon pack and all of that stuff. But now I'm making a new version of the Necronomicon with no artificial intelligence. But because I don't know, at that point I don't know what was going through my mind. But I mean, I was testing it. Like, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I was testing it. But now looking back at it, I don't think it was that great. Right now, I'm just getting a lot of actually images from old stuff that we can use and reworking them. So it's a new graphic asset. But I'm also going to show you where to get really nice archival stuff for free. You know what I mean? And then the asset pack becomes like, if you want it already treated and separated and already ready to use, you can grab the asset pack. Because here I felt like sometimes AI, like it separates you from the thing, you know. And actually also getting an asset pack of really obscure medieval like stuff, like for me it was good because I got to learn a lot of how these engravings were made, and now I'm using them, you know. So it would be nice that you guys, instead of getting the asset pack, got to know those, you know. But sometimes for the sake of practicality, you prefer the asset pack or whatever it is. So if you want that, I have that, you know. But I want to make it in a way that links you to the actual to the thing itself, you know. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on AI. For me, it's much worse what it's doing in terms of psychologically. You know, like it's it's fetishized. It's getting fetishistic about outcome to a ridiculous degree. You know, like what are we even doing right now? You know, if you like, the only thing I can see it used in an actual workflow in a way that's not gonna completely fuck up your life. It's like doing stuff that you can do on your own, but it will take you longer time. Like other than that, stuff that you actually wouldn't like to do. You know what I mean? You got already like pretty carried away with this, guys. Like you see, I got into too much of the zone with this, but I'm going to do this circle here. Maybe this I do. Right, maybe here we do. Yeah. This has a little bit of a curve. Here we do. Right, you can create something like this, right? And maybe this kind of looks uh, like here there is like a rail, you know. There's like a rail here, you know, and this goes a bit up to here because there is perspective, you know. So it's kind of all of a sudden you become a H Giger painting. You know what I mean? But yeah, stuff like that. Right, and ideally, like here I'm making it fast because of the stream, but ideally if you could fill out a page with stuff like this, and you can make it like not that small, right? You maybe make bigger lines, right? So it fills up the page a bit more, you know, you use your entire arm, right? And you do it kind of that way. They look like grids and structures to start an Art Nouveau design. Yeah, it could. I mean, it all stems from all those old styles, you know. So yeah. So once we start doing stuff like we kind of got the hang of this, we can move into other kind of stuff, you know, and to try playing with planes. Like maybe you have a circle, right? And then we can start playing with, okay, let's say it's a coin, right? So maybe it's something like this, right? But we do like a small, right? So we start playing with this idea of first the plane. Like you could picture it as everything fits. I mean, the face of everything fits within a cube. So I could make like this, for example, right? So this is our cube. This is our cube, right? And each cube, like to find the middle, you just do, or anything that has four sides, you make a perpendicular from one side to the other, and then here you have your middle, right? And this is the middle that wraps around, you know. So you have it kind of like this. So here you can sort of see the ellipse. You know what I mean? And it's all the shapes that we've been doing. You know what I mean, guys? It's all the same. It's all these same lines that we've been drawing. You know? So you can do like, right, and try to intuitively try to make the middle and where it's pointing, you know, where's the perspective leading me, right? So like that. Let's see if I can make another one that fits this, because in this imaginary like plane, maybe the vanishing point, it's, I don't know, it's kind of here, you know, whatever, right? I'm not using a vanishing point yet, but let's say I was, like I could make like maybe one bigger here, right? So make it even more, right? right? But I guess the idea is just start playing with planes and see if you can, right? Something like that. And don't make it as a, don't think of a vanishing point. Just try to give an orientation to this plane. So it would be something like this, and you're going to see, okay, this plane is orientated on this direction. It's looking in this direction. One key way, it's like, how was it like? No, like you need to find the y plane. So you can make any four sides shape, and it's an skewed plane. It always is a plane that's looking in any direction. So to find it, you just make like this, and there you have it. It's looking in that direction. I mean, it's projected in that direction, and the plane, it's actually looking in this direction. You see it? You see what I mean? Like you're trying to think of these shapes in a way that, boom, you see it? It's going that way, and the plane is already in that direction. See what I mean? So you start playing with planes, and you do that. You make one really like this. You make one, it's perfectly to you. Then you start going the other way around. And give it that extra. And start to play with this, with planes, right? Try that exercise. Like try making a four sides, whatever, right? Trying to find the middle, like that, making an X, and then that's gonna give you the middle. This is gonna give you the orientation in terms of the vanishing point, right? The middle one, it's gonna tell you where is it vanishing. All the lines are vanishing in that direction, right? Depending on your perspective, these lines are vanishing also too, but usually like we do like 2 points to the side, like vanishing points. Like maybe, for example, in something like this, you can have a vanishing point here and a damn, bro. Actually, let's shit. Get rid of this. I mean, I didn't want it to get into like vanishing points and all of that, but maybe it makes sense just to have you understand it. Like this is the horizon line, right? So lines usually are gonna to be projected somewhere. So let's say we have an object here, right? This is, let's say it's a, I don't want to get into lenses, but all the lines are going to be projected this way, like that, and like that. Top lines are going to be projected just vertically, right? So that's our object. You know what I mean? And all objects in this orientation are going to be projected to those lines. You know what I mean? I'm sure any of you already did something like this in school or whatever. Yeah, I don't know why it's not. There's something odd there in the perspective, but you get what I mean, right? So usually objects have many like vanishing points, because in this sort of plane, for example, arguably like the planes are vanishing to this point or something around there, and these lines are vanishing to somewhere really far here, but we can't think about it like that. We need to do it a lot more intuitively. So uh, so yeah, you try to accommodate all the planes. So again, let's make another here. Boom. Try to find the middle. It's not the middle in terms of like the center of mass. You know what I mean? It's just giving you the orientation in terms of the foreshortening that happens because of the perspective, right? So it's trying to orient you to say, okay, where is this plane vanishing to, and where is it facing? Vanishing there, and maybe this plane is not precisely square, but the point of it is that you're trying to, I guess, perceive it as a three-dimensional thing, right? I wanted to say the law. There is a law to find the where the plane it's sort of facing, but I can't remember the way it was. I think it was 90 degrees. So let's say you have this, right? So how do I know where the plane is looking? So you find this 90-degree angle. It's exactly 90 degrees. That's gonna say where the plane is actually watching. So try to think about like that. Try to make a couple of these for the planes, you know? So you make some coins and you try to say, okay, it's looking in that direction. You make like this, it's looking in that direction, right? And you get really comfortable. Like that, it is looking in like some other direction that's a bit more towards me, right? Perfect circle, it's looking in my direction. Perfect sliver, it's looking in that direction, right? Right, so play a bit with planes, with foreshortening. Try to see if you can make like, you know. But I guess the for planes, it's really good. This one that we did with the coins. So start with a circular one and see if you can make one that's a bit more skewed, and try to make the protrusion, like make the edge so you can better see it, right? So the other side. You see this one was a bit off. See, like that. Another one that's pretty difficult, it's the opposite. Like, so you start from the sliver here. Yeah, a bit bigger. so big. So you start from the sliver and you try to make it the opposite way. Try to make it the other way around. You can make it also with squares. With squares, it's a bit more straightforward because you can do something like this. Let's say have, so this is gonna be the, it also changes, like if you do it horizontal or if you do it like vertically, it changes quite a bit. But let's say I have this square, right? Okay, let's make it a bit shorter. Right, and then the next one, but let's try to see if we can make it vanish to besides this cube that this square that we already have. So maybe it should be, so it's gonna be a square, so it needs to be towards here. So it's vanishing somewhere in this point in the horizon line, somewhere around here. So the lines are gonna be, you know, but you try to not draw the entire thing, you know, just hide this part within the one that's below. You make that, and then the other one, it's gonna be even more towards here. So maybe this one is showing a little bit, but since it's now this one, it's not gonna be vanishing here, it's gonna be vanishing to another point, but in the same horizon line. You know what I mean? So maybe the other one is vanishing here. So it's, but it's gonna be a lot more pronounced. It's gonna be shorter. So since it's gonna be shorter, this other end needs to be shorter than this one. So it needs to be maybe like this. Right? And then another one even shorter. Right? And you try to make that. Maybe you make another one that's vanishing in the other direction. You know what I mean? But yeah, play around with this, right? Try to make these simple sequences. These are really hard to make, like if you don't have the grasp for it yet. I can draw pretty okay, but these exercises make me feel like a noob. Yeah. Me too. Like I can draw pretty well, like as well. You know, it's like I made the worst angle face that I have. whatever. You know what I mean? But I can draw pretty well. Anatomy is what I like the most. Oh no, what have I done? Oh no. Where are my layers? Oh, there. But yeah, those kind of style is what I like to draw the most because it's what I've learned to draw a lot. But it has helped me a lot with typography also. Like there is a lot of stuff that carries, you know. Like you could easily start building something typographic off of this. Then maybe of course you need to clean it up, right? But to get a quick sketch off, whatever. Yo, just started week one. Thanks for what you do. Go back to graphic this. Go back into graphic design. Got back. I understood. Like go back. Go back to graphic design. Got back to graphic design and I'm loving it. Let's go, bro. This is what it's all about. So happy that you guys are loving the dojo. Yeah. I'm just like showing you. Like sometimes it's easier to think about in terms in outlines, but yeah, you could perfectly do the. We're gonna do that in the. Where is it? We're gonna do that in the calligraphy assignment when we arrive to it. You could start building a lot of symbols with this. I can't remember what was the angle that it should be. I think it was like this. You see, for calligraphy, you also need like a pretty good like straight line. So yeah, that helps. That helps a lot. Because you need to go in the straight direction that the pencil is oriented, like the brush. So then you can go like fucking boom. Then you go like boom, boom. Right, and then you start playing with shit like that. But yeah, that's kind of, yeah. These pencils, I hadn't released them yet. I made them for myself to draw. But yeah, next assignment, like next stream, actually, we could like start it next stream. I wanna see, but it's gonna be just around like catching um gesture drawing. So we're gonna just taking a look at the human body and just trying to figure out like weight and where everything is kind of like oriented, you know. Whatever. This is kind of forced. I don't like it. But yeah, was supposed to serve like a kind of an introduction just to get to drawing. But I hope you got. Oh, we missed the volumes. I wanted to show you like the volumes. The volumes is super easy once you got the hang of the planes, because once you started to do stuff like this, like let's say you make a foreshortened plane, like something like that, right? Whatever. Sorry, let's make something like this, right? Then it's just a matter of repeating that shape, right? And then you make like that, boom, that's a volume, you know? And then you have the lines and everything. It's all like on the same direction. What helps a lot is to try to find the curvature line, to try to, you know? So you make a, like something like this, right? So you try to make it again, right? And then there you have your volume, right? What you can do also, I like, is to, I start with one, right? So then I try to find, okay, it's gonna go towards that direction. So I start to make all the lines, right? the sort of the same length. So that way you find it, you know. So once you start to play with some volumes, you can make, for example, you can make that sequence that we were doing before. So we have this as reference, right? So if I'm gonna make another, it's gonna be less visible. Right, and you try to just to spin around, make a simple volume and try to spin it around. See, but always like pretty intuitively. Right, maybe now I'm trying to make this face. So now if I'm gonna bring it over more towards me, then now in this plane should be the plane that should be seeing more of, and this plane should be less. So it would be something like this, right? And then in this one I should be seeing more of this plane. So right, so that's why I mean that you need to think about it a bit more. Right, and in this one I shouldn't be seeing nothing of the side plane. Right, does it make sense? Normal summon albas, the fuck. But yeah, so yeah, just play around stuff kind of like this, and it will start to make sense. But you need to sort of think about, oh, okay, how does these points all of sort of correlate to each other, right? Because let's say I'm gonna make just a cube. You can fit anything inside some cube, right? And then we have this shape here, right? And we have another circle here. So this is the through line. And maybe I want to take a chunk out of this. So something like that, for example. It's not perfect, but you see it takes quite a bit of thinking to try to figure out where everything goes. Right. So yeah, play around with those volumes. See the videos that I sent you also on the assignment brief, and you have a bit there of people that of other videos that other creators that specify this sort of drills, which is really good. But yeah, you can get into cracking this like a lot of them, and you get into a nice groove. And yeah, actually I remember doing a lot of this. You sort of lose um, the line a little bit. Also in the Wacom, it's a bit harder to get a really clean methodic line, because you get the bad habit of starting to do like you do like if you fuck up, you start again. You see. And also like I work better like small, so I'll do stuff like that, right? And then I'll make it bigger like later. But yeah, don't do as me, like do it in pencil first, and then you can get a Wacom if you're really into it. But yeah, this is kind of it for the volumes. Let me see if I have another like cool volume to do. Oh yes, because and then you can start to go, for example, when we're doing stuff like this, like it's kind of infinite isometrics perspective. Like I'm not banishing these lines to an imaginary point. I'm just gonna put every line. Let's say if I do like I'm imagining that's something here, like a bar, and then I'm gonna put another. I'm gonna make a barbell, right? So I'm gonna do something like this, and then I just know that these lines need to be parallel, right? So I can use them to measure and to make everything according to this orientation, right? So I'm gonna make something like that. All the vertical is gonna be vertical. Right, these lines, these orientations that give me the box are gonna be the same. Right, so you're trying to find these lines to sort of build your object, right? And to build your thing, right? This goes here. What happens if I want to make it like a cap, that like a bigger cap? This is a bit tricky. If I want to do this, I want to do another bigger here. See, that perspective is fucking me up because I figure it out. To be this direction. So circle here needs to extrude in this direction. Okay, fair enough. Not perfect. I just wanted to get the perspective right. Right, and you can start playing, like try to build simple stuff like this. You don't need to do much else, much else. I'm not crazy at hard surface and doing objects and stuff like that, but it helps a lot to try to sort of try to get it in your head and try to imagine this object in 3D and try to figure out. It's like a puzzle that you need to do, like a space puzzle, like a spatial puzzle that you need to figure out. But yeah, I figured it helps a lot with imagination. So let's go back into. I'm going to show you some last references. Then we're gonna call it a a day. But it's not really references. It's just some cool stuff that I wanted to show you. Let me put this here. Let me close this. Mm, so, where's my stream? Shit. Yes, here it is. Each time I need to move everything. Such a mess. There. Let me move my Wacom out of the way. We are kind of. So, yeah, if you have any other questions, guys, let me know, please. That you would like to talk about regarding the assignment or whatever. But I guess one of my main goal with this to get you to get a good line, some idea of how to position things in space. But I guess it's motivated to learn to draw, and to take it upon you to learn to draw, because I think it's such a core skill to have, to be able to just put something out and just make it, just to show it. Let me move here. Oh damn, where is all my stuff? Oh, actually wanted to show you something that's really cool. Wanted to show you this is my old Behance. I haven't updated this like in ages, but I have a couple of projects that I have been like, this is featured in the graphic design in and illustrator categories a lot. Let me change this. So these are logos that I used to do, but this one I used to draw a lot for the logos. These ones were from the last works that I did for branding and all that kind of stuff. But these logos I used to draw a lot for these kind of logos. These little houses or that little duck. Bro, hey bro, the trace paper link to the tutorial didn't work when you DM'd it. No, because it isn't out yet. The tutorial automation, it's one that was running already, but the tutorial is not out yet. The action, I'm finishing it. It's practically finished. The tutorial is gonna be out before somewhere next month. It's gonna be out because I need to finish the product, the action. But the tutorial is gonna be on how to do it on your own without needing to buy anything. These old logos I used to do, bro. What the fuck? They were good, but they're another vibe, It was another time in my in my career. But hey, they weren't as bad, bro. And these ones are older logos that I used to do. This one also drawing also. These weren't half bad, bro. They weren't that bad. Come on. But yeah, it was another time. And let me see the other references. Oh, Sergi Brosa. There was someone that I was working with, like I was talking about the Borderlands art style, and this dude, he did work for Borderlands, but it also made me think of how concept artist is the perfect intersection between a graphic designer and an artist, like the classic illustrator, you know, because these dudes are making a lot of decisions when it comes to the design of these characters and why they are as they are, you know. I found that concept art is a really cool like profession, you know. Yeah, the style of search is crazy. And his art station, oh, he doesn't have the old stuff, I think. Oh, this is his likes. Okay. In art station there are some crazy stuff, bro. A lot of, look at this. You see, because concept art, they need to think about the magic and how it's designed, you know, what it does. So that's really cool, you know. But you see how these guys draw, like this is another level, you know. This is good. Super crazy. What is this? Oh, Militech. What game was this? I can't remember. It wasn't Cyberpunk. Come on, this is crazy. Come on. This is masterful, bro. Some UFC, right? Oh shit. These are good. Uh, oh, we talked about Safe Haven, but Safe Haven has a lot of sculpting in his pieces, and arguably there is a lot of drawing actually, you know, that goes on with his work, because I know I've seen him like drawing a lot of his stuff like this. He draws his typography, and also the drawing goes about in the when he's sculpting. ZBrush is a lot like sculpting, a lot like drawing when you're sculpting, you know. So maybe this is not clearly typography or anything, sorry, anatomy or anything like that, but there is a lot of drawing, that the drawing hand that goes into this kind of artwork. His work is crazy, bro. That typography at the back, it's amazing. But I mean, you all know Safe Haven, I'm sure. Works so fire. The fuck. Oh, this one, it's this is from Marte, which is she studied with me at the same university. Actually, we both dropped out at the same kind of time. She's based in New York now, and she's done work with some pretty major brands. But you see, she's more like a classic illustrator, calligrapher. This one that she did for Hot Wheels. This one for Samsung Galaxy. You see, she draws. She draws paints for real, for real. Some really nice typography work also, very vintagey, with a lot of soul. You know, these ones she did for YouTube. Shit. Mm, yeah, it's really great work. And let me see if I have. Oh, this one is the. She's a girlfriend of a friend of mine, but she was a teacher of me, a teacher of mine also at uni. And again, you see, she's a graphic designer, but she draws a lot. And there is a lot of stuff you can do depending of where you turn the dial. If you draw more or do more like proper design work, whatever that means, you know. But you can mix it however you want. But yeah, I think she's more like an illustrator, you know. But yeah, she still works. She still gets work. It's not like AI. It's eating up everything. That's kind of a lie, you know. Like fear mongering. Like you just do your work and the opportunities will come, bro. Like don't even worry. And the last one, but we talked about him also last stream. But and again, it's not particularly like drawing, but Braulio Amado, it's more painterly, you know. His work is more painterly, like have more of that artistic flair, in the terms of ludic, of kind of abstract, which I think it's really impressive, and it draws the attention in a lot, and it makes it look fresh and new and fun, you know, which I think is really important. And oh, and I think I forgot to talk about it when we were doing the assignment, but we won't do a painting assignment. I think it's the closer we got to it is the stain, but there is something about painting that when you paint, let me see, I think I can show it some way, like here, like when you're drawing, usually you're trying to delineate something, right? You're sort of capturing the essence of something, like say this is what I have in my mind, like this ball here, right? You capture it and it is what it is. But when you're trying to paint, you're trying to, you know, the painting finds its form, you know. Does that make any sense? Like when you're drawing, you are limiting, you are saying this is what I have, like this is what I want, this cube, right? You're saying this is what I want, this pyramid, whatever it is, this is what I want, that's it. And there is value in that. But painting, it's much more, it's like sculpting, you're carving it out, you know. It's like finding its own form. It's much more like expansive, you know. It's a different way of thinking visually, of making an image. And the work of Braulio, I think, has that how is it, that nice mix into something that looks put together and drawn, but also like painterly, you know, with that play, which I think is really good. So you know, and I have nothing more to show you guys. So yeah, that's kind of it. Bye bye. No, I'm joking. But let me know what you think, guys. What was bro saying? Oh, where's my chat? You got very good taste. Can you link the website, please? Different modes of thinking for sure. Yeah, I put the link. I'll put the links on the description tomorrow when I edit this. But you have them there, like Braulio Amado. You can look for it. Um, those are some of the references. And yeah, my guys. But yeah, drawing it's amazing. Right now I'm a bit tired. But yeah, I really hope you guys like give it hard to those assignments. And next one is gonna be a lot more fun. We're gonna do like the live drawing and all that kind of stuff. We're gonna gesture drawing. That's a lot more. Um, it's more fun to do. You know what I mean? Because then you get to draw the body. When you do it well, it's all you get all hyped up. You know, you feel the progress a lot more. I have something that is not related to the assignment for sure. Shoot, my guy, tell me. To check that my camera isn't falling. Shoot, bro, shoot. Is the music still sounding? Can you hear it or it's really low? I'm gonna be closing already these windows because my damn. I might have told you that it's kind of difficult to get a Patreon subscription for the AMBO membership. It's regarding the Patreons. Oh, okay. You can shoot that. Oh yeah, tell me here what's it that you mean. So I was thinking if you made a YouTube membership. But that takes a lot of. I need to set up that also. I'm gonna check my guy. But because why? It's really hard to pay it in your country, like the Patreon way of payment, or because of the price. But yeah, don't worry about it. Shoot me a message, like a private message on the Discord, and we'll figure it out if it's regarding any of that of the ambush. Because for the ones that want to support, if you think this entire space is worth it, you can support through the Patreon or getting anything on my website, any asset pack, then on designsyndrome.com, a texture, whatever it is, it helps the channel to keep going. And there's also another. If you become a Patreon, you unlock more stuff on the server, like a leveling system inspired in the Naruto ninja ranks, which is really cool. But it's just a vanity thing to keep it interesting. Like everything regarding the learning, it's free and it will always be free. But there is also another rank to the Patreon, which is the Anbus, the Anbu operatives, which is like a more locked in, intimate group of people that really want to take it to that next level. We do monthly mastermind meetings in which we discuss our goals for the month, and we make a promise of the stuff we will do, right? So we held ourselves accountable to really lock in and work. So yeah, if that's a more premium membership. But yeah, it's just to motivate ourselves and to feed off each other energy more directly, so if you feel like you want to take the next step and meet other like-minded creatives that are ready to lock in, you can become one, you know what I mean? And also by becoming like a regular Patreon supporter, you get a lot of free stuff, one free asset pack a month, and all of my upcoming work in progress files for new asset packs, original PSD files and high quality for posters, whatever it is. So there is a lot there. You're gonna have the link also. If it's not down below, it's gonna be on the Discord. I don't want to plague everything with links, you know what I mean? So yeah. But okay, guys, I'm gonna be closing down the stream. Thank you for being here. Thank you for stopping by. Do the assignment, and yeah, would like to see what you come up with on the Discord. All right, my guys. Pretty tired. So okay, let's go, guys. Thank you for stopping by. You already know how it is. Fuck peace. Wish you conflict. Keep creating. Bye bye. Love you. Oh, yeah, I found those today. I'm gonna upload them at some point.